The following is a Productions original series.
Hello and welcome to Walk and Roll Live. I'm Doug Vincent, joined by Addie Rich. Our podcast is dedicated to amplifying the voices of the disability community. I'm a polio survivor, and Addie's definitely a survivor, but...
yeah, not of the same thing. I have cerebral palsy, so we're the team of the terrible too.
And she's a big traveler because she just got back from her visit out this way. So she's back at home now in nearby Atlanta, or near to Atlanta.
Nearby. Yeah. Yes, near to Atlanta is correct.
Yeah.
Feeling it.
So how was that? And you took a red eye too. So
I did. I took off at 9:30, and then I landed here about 4:30 in the morning. But thankfully the TSA on the Santa Ana side was amazing. Very quiet. 20 minutes from like park the car through TSA. And then just chilled at my gate because we had come like 3 hours early thinking, well, this is going to be horrid if we don't do that.
Well, you used most of that 3 hours on the way out here, right?
No, 3.5 hours on the way out.
Yeah.
So, and honestly, even last night or this morning, whatever that was when I got back, the lines were just as long in Atlanta. And I asked what the timing is generally, and they said 3 hours today. And today was supposed to be the day that like all TSA reported for duty because they got paid supposedly last week. So I was surprised to literally see the same lines that I sat in
that you saw
when I was coming out, and 7 days later.
Probably worse there because it's a hub for the country.
For sure.
Right? Yeah.
For sure.
Well, good. Glad you're home. So we're going to kind of talk about the Abilities Expo today because we got a chance to spend a couple of days there. And, we've got a couple of guests that are going to join us today to help us kind of give you the impressions of it. If there's one close enough to you, we'll kind of give you an idea of what you'll see and experience while you go there. Because this is the first one of the year, and then they do, I want to say 7 or 8 total, I think.
Yeah, I think you're right. I haven't really sat down and counted them all, but Chicago, one or two in Florida, one in Texas. Like they're kind of sprinkled about the country.
Yeah. So, wherever you are, maybe it's not too tough to get there. We're fortunate, an hour drive maybe to get there. And I like the new location without giving too much away of what we're going to talk about, in the body of the show. But they moved it away from the LA Convention Center, which is, a wonderful facility. It's world class, but it is huge. So,
yeah, I think that thank you to whoever decided to do that because our little bodies would have been dead. Yeah. I don't have a smart drive on my walker, and I would have been squat. Yeah. I definitely slept good each night. However, I don't know that I could have kept up if it was in a bigger spot.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And the deal with LAX or LA Convention Center as opposed to Long Beach is not. I don't think the room we're about the same size, I would say. Yeah. But it's just to get there where you park and you come across that entire convention center in Los Angeles. It's huge. Or if you want to save yourself $30 or $40 in parking, you park somewhere on the street. Yeah. There's a bunch of parking lots around there where you can, park for the day for 10. But then you got to walk all the way over to the convention center. Right. So, it's 6 of one, half dozen of the other, or what the kids say today, 6, 7, 6, 7.
Something like that.
Something like that.
I'm not a kid anymore, apparently.
I don't even know. I'm like 7 of those kids in age. Right. Yeah. So, all right. Well, we'll just kind of make this kind of brief. And I want to thank Lyra for joining us last week and telling her story, and excited about the new business she's working on. And I think we can all benefit from it. So check it out when you get a chance. And we'll be back to kind of get into it with a couple of our friends that have been on the show before and are very involved in the disability community. So we'll get their impressions along with ours when we come back from this word from Agyar Professional Training.
At Agyar Professional Training, we know that your greatest asset is your team. Investing in their development, knowledge, and happiness is essential for your business's success and growth. To achieve new heights, it's important to hire intelligent, talented individuals and empower them to excel in their areas of strength and passion. Ugyar is committed to transforming your employees into happier, more productive, and fulfilled individuals. When your team thrives, your business prospers. Wise leaders understand that providing team members with opportunities to shine in their strengths unlocks untapped potential. Elevate your team with Ugyar Professional Training and witness the growth of your business.
From the Ugyar Professional Training Studios, you're listening to Walk and Roll Live, Disability Stories.
The morning light spills across the floor. I take a deep breath and think about what's ahead. Most days I'm moving without a hitch. Sometimes my body taps me on the shoulder and says, slow it down for a while. The day is mine. I've got people I love and people who love me back. I get to chase what matters and laugh until I can't breathe. Some days I pause, but I never stop. Life rolls on and I'm rolling with it.
You are listening to Walk and Roll Live. It is a couple of days, well, the day after Abilities Expo for some of us. Addie and I, we got out of there on Saturday, but we invited and they accepted, and they're second guessing that decision now. Bobby, Rohan, and Robert Soto, how you guys doing?
Pretty good. How you doing?
Great.
Good.
Man. Thanks for having us on.
Oh, our pleasure. Thank you for joining us. Now, we just wanted to get together and kind of do an overview of our experiences from Abilities Expo, and a lot to talk about because they've got new owners over the last 2 or 3 years. They've changed some things up. They moved the location. So we want to get kind of you guys' feeling on all of that.
And I don't know if you know the history, Doug, because this was their first year on their own, in a sense.
Yes, that's what I felt.
Yeah. So last year they kind of just watched over, and then this year on their own. So
yeah,
the training wheels are off.
Yes, they are off. I feel like they made a couple of minor changes last year, but yeah, in full force this year, and you could really feel it this year. So you guys, spent most of your time at the Triumph booth? Is that where you were helping them out and volunteering?
Oh, no, we were at Chair Life.
Chair Life.
Yeah, I was like, Bobby was a floater. Bobby was everywhere.
Well, unfortunately, I know too many people.
Yeah.
Not
right?
Unfortunately. It is still a blessing. But.
You're right. Yeah, it's fortunate and unfortunate sometimes. So tell us a little bit about Chair Life. Let's start there.
Go for it, Robert.
Okay, well, Chair Life is owned by one of our co-hosts on Live to Roll Network on Rolling Over the Hill. And so he's one of the four of us. And he's a higher level quad, and he has a company where he created and distributes and sells the Hook It. And it's a device that wraps around your wrist and gives you some stability when you need to pick something up from the ground, from your chair. So he started out with that, and he's got a few other devices and things like that he's promoting and sells. And it's just his first time at an expo where he's actually representing Chair Life. So we were there kind of to assist him, and he had some exposure, because he was getting people's email addresses and things like that. So
Right.
I know when I left Saturday, there was like almost 40 people that have stopped by the booth that signed in. So he still had another day. So that's good. So there's some visuals that people see, and that they'll, because it's basically online. He wasn't really selling anything. He was presenting some things there. And it's mostly online. It's chairlife.com. And
So he's just trying to get his name out to the community.
The exposure.
Yeah.
One thing we were giving out is like something to stick onto your door. So, when you exit your door, you reach behind you, and sometimes that knob is kind of far. Some people put a string or something. Well, this is something you can stick to your door. It's with adhesive, and stick it to your door, and then kind of like you would want to put it in the middle of your door. So, kind of reach back, and now you don't have to go as far, and just kind of grab that little hook. It's like made out. It's probably 3D printed, but just grab it, and then you're able to bring in that door a lot closer to either get it to shut or grab the handle to shut it all the way.
I could use that because my back door that I go out into the garage, there's a ramp there. And so what I'll do is go down the ramp, come back up the ramp, reach that knob,
Right.
pull on the door, and then get out of the way of the door as quickly as I can so it gets close enough.
Sounds like you need to order one.
Yeah, that would be just a.
Oh, dang it! Because we had tons of. You know what, Doug? Maybe at the end here, give me your address because I got a couple that I.
Or or just throw one in your bag and I'll see you at Pier the Pier Push here
next
soon.
week.
So
do
next
week.
Oh, is it next week?
It's
on the
Saturday.
Easter weekend.
Coming up Saturday, yeah.
Yeah, we're doing it Saturday. Man.
I think that's cool. I think I'm going out of town, but I'll catch you soon.
Okay, yeah,
we'll see you
Amazing.
somewhere.
This is a whole catch up. But this is the perfect example of being in the right place at the right time with the consumers who need it, right? Like you're not just at some random street corner saying, hey, I made this thing. Like these are people that will truly test it for you. They will buy it. It will make their life easier. So this is great exposure for him. But for any of us who have ever been a vendor at anything, it can be overwhelming when it's your first time and you're like, how do I say hi to everybody? How do I make a connection? I do a lot of up in the mountains. I have property and I do little vendor fairs and I know it can be super overwhelming. You want 10 people at your table, but then you're like, oh my God, there's only one of me. Please wait.
Oh my God, there's 10 people at my table.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And then especially when you know a lot of people, and then that's,
sure.
You do want to catch up. And I always call it like a high school reunion. If you lived in the area and you kind of, for us old timers, I guess you can say. And we know a lot of people in the industry from years on in. And sometimes they come by and you want to catch up, but then you want to also make sure you get your product out and tell them and blah, blah, blah. So it's like this catch-22 and
Yeah. Before we go any further, I didn't, my host duties, I fell down on them, but these gentlemen are from Live to Roll. Bobby does Live to Roll with Sean, and I guess Tommy is not with the show anymore.
No, Tom's not with our show.
Yeah, and then Mr. Soto over here, he does the Over the Hill show for Live to Roll, right? Did I get all that right?
Yeah, there's actually four of us co-hosting on Rolling Over the Hill, and Paul is an integral part of our show, but he lives in Canada, so he wasn't able to make the expo.
Oh, the expo, yeah. I don't know. I can't imagine what it's like for you guys because I'm not as well connected, haven't been immersed in the whole community as long as you guys have, and I can barely get 10 feet going through. Every time I would get separated from Addie, I'm like. I'm just going to be gone 5 minutes, and then.
Well, and I go to the
I'll
place.
be right back, and it's a half hour later.
Well, I mean, that was the good thing because at first I was like really scared that it was going to be giant and we were going to end up separating and I'd never find him again and then have to text him and be like, I'll meet you at the car. But it wasn't really like that. But even like Doug says, I didn't know people. This was my first expo, but I would get in good conversations with people. Yeah. And I ended up just saying, hey, can we finish this offline? I'll send you an email because I realized that there's a finite amount of time. And I'm like, I know I will write the email. They may not reply, but at least I can move the conversation along because I could be there half a day.
Yeah, that was one of the things I feel like we really accomplished this year, which I've tried to do every year for I don't know how many years, but connect with people and then you kind of, it pulls you different ways when you want to talk to people or see something. And we really concentrated on getting around the first day when we were there Friday and just really kind of touching base with each booth. What were you going to say, Bobby?
I'm maybe going away from it, but this is I'm pretty sure this was my 37th.
Wow.
Year doing this, or going.
Yeah.
Okay. So I just celebrated 10 years in a chair. When I first got hurt and I was still fresh meat and I know it was under 3 months because I still had my halo brace and they took me to the expo. The following year I went as, an exhibitor and maybe for a couple of years. And then I was going to help out with this wheelchair sports camp I helped out with. So then I was kind of a vendor. And then always since then, I've been a vendor for somebody helping out, and then I was with Colors Wheelchairs for 5 years and I went to all of them. And, then when you go to all of them, you meet all the other vendors, get to know them. So it is a struggle. Like, in a way, I want to leave the booth, but I know I'll never make it back.
Yeah.
And then the only time I was trying to leave the booth is when I go to the restroom, and then you like, hey, Bobby, I want to, hey, let's catch up. Meet me over at my booth. I gotta go to the bathroom, please.
Yeah, please.
Yeah.
Well, I know. For me, when I first started going, because that was my 8th one only. But at the first couple of times, I think I went with Bobby, and I kind of met with him there. And it's kind of like riding his coattails through the expo. And I couldn't believe the first time when I went with him, how many people he knew. We were just kind of trying to see different things, and every booth you went, it seemed like there was somebody stopping him. And so I kind of realized how he's embedded into the community there. But and that's what it's all about too. With it's a socialization, socializing there. It's all the networking and all that. So I know over the years that I've been going there, I started to meet people now, and it's funny too because we're getting more people that were recognizing us from the show, from the Live to Roll show. So even though they're not maybe in there on comments and things like that, but they're watching. So it was kind of interesting. But I
had a couple of those too. It was nice. That was probably one of the first times. I'd be explaining somebody to somebody the show, and they're, oh no, I watched this, or listened to it. Yeah. Oh
no, Bobby's the connected man there, I tell you.
Yeah.
Bobby, we almost need to make a mixer like the day before or something, right? So that people can meet up at the mixer and not have to be stuck at their vendor booth.
Yeah.
But still meet each other.
I don't know if you went to the mixer on Friday night that they have.
Oh, they did it. No, we did not.
Oh, you didn't know.
But that's awesome. But that would be perfect for kind of that. So you don't get stuck in that trap of dang it, I didn't get to see all my friends.
Yeah. And even that, it becomes hard because then you get a drink and then you sit down, and the next thing you know, you're with one person or two, and then you're seeing out of the corner of your eyes all these people, and you're like, I want to go say hi because I haven't seen that person or that person.
Yeah.
And I bet you there was people at this event that you saw at the corner of your eye and didn't get a chance to
easily
really spend any time. Yeah.
There was a couple people, and because I was a director for a wheelchair sports camp back in the 90s, and all the kids were under 18. Now they're all grown up. Yeah. And so when I see them out of the, I want to say hi, or they want to say hi to me. But there was a couple of them, I'm like, I'm sitting there talking to them, and I know, I want to go say hi to Gina. I haven't seen her forever, but I have no time. It's just and to find out, because it's so cool to see them all grown up.
Yeah. That's got to be rewarding.
Yeah.
So anything that sticks out, I want to kind of share with our audience some of the things that were new. Let's maybe talk about that with the new company and some of the changes that they made.
Well, I know for me, like I said, I don't know a lot about the company, but there were a lot bigger companies there. I like it when there's more of the mom and pop businesses there, kind of exhibiting their wares, and stuff, because everything was, I was hoping that I could find just even a cushion company where they're selling cushions, or whatever. But everything, they're all big now, like Permobil and all these big companies. Yeah, they're there selling stuff, but it's not that you're going to walk away with it either. So it's just that there's going to be a lot of companies there, and the vehicles, and that was taking up a lot of the expo there. And that's always good to see, because you can do your research if you are interested in one, and kind of look at them but yeah, I thought it was pretty good. I didn't really have a chance to see the whole thing what I wanted to, because I'd look for a particular vendor that I wanted to see what they had and all that. So I really never went, aisle by aisle, but it seemed like it was a little bit harder the way it was organized. I don't know if it was me or what, because at the LA Expo, they were pretty straight line going from front to back. This one, it seemed like they were kind of scattered out a little bit more. There were aisles, but there were
aisles, but you would go organized somewhere down an aisle, and then you'd run in to one of those big booths you were talking about, usually vehicles, and you had to kind of zig around it to get to where you were going.
It was just set up a little differently, but I like the expo. Like I said, it's nice to network and socialize that way, and at the same time kind of find things that are out there. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm
When
with you,
you
though.
have the time, when you have the time to make it, to
Yeah.
hit it all, you know?
Yeah. And I like the smaller ones. I was telling Addie that, you know, the big, you know, associations, the Heart Association and, you know, whatever that were there, you know, they've got enough money to come out and get a 2 or 3 space booth, and they've got people, and they've got, you know, donors that they've got some marketing going, all those things. And I like to kind of help the smaller people that, you know,
Yeah.
don't get that voice out there all the time.
Yeah.
And you know, and that's, you know, that does become the trouble. I mean, my eyes are drifted over to the layout of this year's expo, kind of seeing what kind of stood out. And you know, it's so sad because they really do try to say, okay, on the back row or the first aisle is going to be all your nonprofits and stuff like that. And but I know when I go down them, you know, sometimes it's a little bit too crowded. You know, those aisles are small, and I heard that this next year they are going to make it that they're going to expand it, so they're going to, I guess that show can be bigger, or take down the wall and make it bigger. So that'll be, you know, so it will be nice. But you know, one thing that I'll say with the expo is I'm looking at it, and they had this lounge, and I saw it on Sunday, but
yeah, the white
that
couches.
needs to be in the middle, you know,
Yeah,
For
where
sure.
everybody can do that, you know, lounging around and catching up with people. I never knew it was there until Sunday around 12. And I think the thing that you know, you see a lot of the same stuff. I hear that a lot, and it looked like there was somebody selling wheels. That used to be the big thing. Is it, like you said, Robert, to buy something and have it in your hand?
Yeah.
I know wheels and tires and tubes, casters, bags, wheelchair bags. I didn't see any of that being sold. But those are always the plus. But that's a company, you know, they only have so much room. They can only bring so much stock. Especially like you think of a cushion, and you know, Robert, you're, you know, this size. I'm this size. Doug is this size. You know, now you're thinking, how many sizes do I have to bring to sell? You know, and that's why it becomes where, you know, and I see it now more, but the QR codes are important.
It's yeah, you're right. You're right. I get it. They can't, you know, satisfy everybody, but I mean, it's just that there's not much. I saw a couple guys carrying around tires, that they were buying tires, and that was it.
There was a booth. I don't know if it was officially a Frog Legs booth, but there was a booth that was selling them and installing them.
Yeah, I saw.
I went by.
I think they're there all the time, you know.
Yeah.
Where they do some small parts for your, like, brakes or something like that, you know.
Well, and it's like Pride Mobility Quantum is there, but then they had a repair booth, but you had to have their chair.
Oh.
And then I know Sunrise Medical was a little bit different. They would allow repairs on somebody else's, I believe. But I know Permobil had the same thing. Nope, they'll only work on a tie light or a Permobil power chair.
Yeah,
which is fine. I get it, because you can, you know.
But you know, if you wanted to
have you need a show on taking care of your wheelchair. I know we've done it on Live to Roll, but that is a huge thing. People just do not take care of the chair.
No.
So they just need to be like, how many
chair checklist.
Yeah, I told somebody to, you know how to take out your hair, and they're like, oh, burn it. I'm like, no, that's the wrong thing to do. And then they're like, oh yeah, you have
tried
to
that. It seems so easy. I tried that.
And then people are like, you got to take off your caster, no, it's taking a drill with a long drill bit, and you just put it right next to the washer, and anything hair wise or dog hair or string or any gunk that gets in there, the drill grabs it, pulls it right out. 2 seconds.
Amazing.
Right after
So
this
it's like
show.
writing that down. I think one thing that would have been cool, because it was slightly confusing, I know, Doug, when you and I got turned around and stuff, would have been like organizing almost by topic, right? So if you're looking for nonprofits, it's here. If you're looking for the people that are like offering the legal advice that
That's
we
a good
still
idea. Good
we
idea.
still didn't find it. So it's like by topic. So you're looking for a certain thing, you go to this section, right? Because it seemed disjointed. Like when there's like the gutter people are next to like Easter seals. I'm like, what? That doesn't, especially if somebody has like limited energy and they can't stay all day to go to everything. They know they want to see this topic, they're interested in these things, they go to that section, right? And so that they can dole out their energy. That is like from a first timer perspective, I was like, hey, this might be smart because certain people don't care about everything. They care about a specific thing.
Yeah, I totally get it. But then you got the companies that I don't want to be near them because I want to be my own brand. Then you got companies like I want to be next to this nonprofit, and
For
because
sure.
they're cool. And so yeah,
I mean, everybody's going to have an opinion about everything.
Yeah, and
absolutely.
they're trying to sell, and the first thing they do is first come, first serve. By here's the map, these are the available spots.
Yeah.
Pick it. And I get it. It's a sales. They got to make money on it. You don't. Obviously the booths aren't cheap,
Sure.
and you got to make money as somebody who's putting on this type of show.
Yeah.
I wonder too if you ask a company that puts on shows like this, maybe that might be purposeful that they mix it around
They want you
that
to
you move around.
So then
to
you
find
go
different things.
like you just don't go down the wheelchairs because I'm only here to buy a wheelchair, and you just go there.
You don't see anything.
Yeah,
else.
it's the grocery store and the candy in the front. I get it.
Right.
Totally get it. I've organized these things before too, but because we're dealing with a population maybe with limited energy, it is a bit different than like rando.
Did you get a chance to see the movie that they showed Sunday morning?
I know. Now we need to look it up.
I went over there to start, but as it was, somebody grabbed me, and there was only so much time you can just watch it.
Story of Bobby's life.
Well, and the reason I bring it up is because it's a great example if you're at the expo that you see. There's of course a lot of people that are using chairs like we use, which are kind of the basic, that's a lot of people are making these days. But then you get into the power chair, and some of those can be fairly similar with some minor adjustments. And then you see some people that need some very specific needs for their chair, and that's what that movie was addressing. That there weren't enough, I guess, companies that were addressing that.
Making specifics,
Well, because it's also like this show. I don't know if I was that much aware of it, of the workshops that they have, because where we were located, just behind us were some of the workshop locations, and I didn't see them really posting anything for at 1:00. This workshop, and so that was one of the things that I really didn't really know what was going on there, what events were going to be coming up. But the one thing overall, I thought it was really a really nice expo. Like I said, I enjoyed just going just to see. But the one thing that I disliked was the parking situation there. That parking situation, leaving, because I left on Saturday at 5, and I bet you I was in that parking lot trying to get out for an hour.
Really?
Oh, shoot. Doug and I found like the secret spot.
Yeah, we found a really nice, just kind of stumbled into it, which was just to the north, I guess, of the building. It was right where Seaside goes through, and that's where part of the Long Beach Grand Prix track goes through. And we parked on the third floor, and we kind of, that's just where we found our spot. But then as soon as we came out, there was a bridge over the street right on the north side, I guess.
I kind of know where you're talking about.
Yeah. But then when it got time to go, there was we were only like a handful of people even walking that way.
Secrets. Gosh darn it.
I know.
we know for next time.
Yeah.
So we were waiting around. This is funny. Okay. You're going to get a kick out of this. Robert, I owe you $15 because you owe me. I had to leave and then come back on Friday. But then Friday night, we were leaving, and we were, after the mixer and stuff, and nobody was in line. So I pull up, and she's like, "Do you have your ticket?" I'm like, "Yeah," but the owners of the Abilities Expo told me to use Abilities 2026 for free parking. And they're like, she goes, "Oh,
like a code?"
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
They bought it.
Oh, I didn't hear that. And I'm like, "Oh, well, okay." they said that would work, but here it's okay. And I was about to hand it, and she goes, just go. So we did it. Then the second day, Saturday, after I was talking to a friend and I told everybody, let's wait because I can see Robert taking an hour to get out of here.
Yeah.
Then we did that. Doug, we went out the back way to the Grand Prix and nobody was there. Just the gate was opened.
Oh,
Wow.
So
the gods were smiling on you.
Yeah, I know. So I didn't pay then. And then Sunday, as I was leaving, did that same route, but somebody was there. And I had like 3 tickets from the, a couple days. So I handed her one. She goes, $60. No, she said $30. She goes, that's not right. It should be 15. I'm like, she goes, okay, just 15 here. And she was going to do something in the computer. And I grabbed my phone to pay for Apple Pay and I dropped it. I'm like, oh my gosh. She goes, you know what? Just go. And I'm like,
oh my God.
But I didn't do it on purpose. I did drop it on accident.
Sure.
That's
Expo
amazing.
2020.
That's good.
But they needed a volunteer from there to say there was 2,
Yeah.
Most people probably would have thought there was only one way in, one way out.
Yeah.
Well, but the thing also, because I was leaving with Dean and he went up to some booth right before the parking lot and had his ticket and went there and paid for it before he left.
That's what we did. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. See, I had mine. I paid for it at the gate as I exited. Right.
Yeah.
So, but
All right, now we all put our heads together. So now we know we try Bobby's trick first.
Yeah.
It's an order of operations, but
Yeah.
but it was
I
a
do
really
that a
cool
lot, though.
opportunity to see lots of people in one
Oh, yeah.
place and to see people. I'm like the person that likes to watch people, so I
yeah.
liked watching other people that, like, a lot of them had a child that was obviously affected, and to just watch their kids feel comfortable,
Yeah.
and also watch them get more info and see other parents and be like, oh, I'm not alone. Because as much as they know that, to be in a space where there's so many people, I could see the levity that maybe you didn't always see in the kids or whatever. Like the little kid that was using the runway as his go-kart track.
That's right.
In the back. That was really cute.
Yeah, it is, and it is a place for if you're a people watcher, because you go through there and you watch everybody that comes through, or like when we're at the booth, and everyone has a story, obviously, and everyone kind of ends up in the same kind of situation. But yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing how different people, and you can just kind of see the energy from them, because I think it is good, especially for younger kids, to be involved or be included in that community, whether adults, kids, or whatever. It's the community, and I see how there's a lot of people that are totally dedicated to whatever cause that it presents itself.
Yeah.
But I talked to a few parents. Then they had their hands full with the child, but the child's going to be included in everything, because they go on vacations, they go on ships, they're talking about the whole story, and so for him to be around all of his peers with the same situation, it's good. It's not just like a trade show. It's more than that, and I'm sure a lot of trade shows are, but this one is really, it seems like it's just a little bit deeper meaning in terms of getting
and that's been our mantra lately, for folks, because we're I don't know how you reach it, but events like this, of course, and all the adaptive sports events that are going on, especially now through the summertime, is to reach those people that maybe haven't found their community yet. And, because it dawned on me very quickly that doing Walk and Roll Live, that we're talking to the people that have made it, in a short way of saying it, but, who have made this transition, especially if you've come to it later in life, that you make that transition. And when you can be in your community and see people that are thriving the way you see there, it's possible for you too. And just, all the conversation we're having here, we see that we get, even though it could be, problematic sometimes and it wears you out, but you see all these people, and in the long run, it's going to lift you up.
Yeah, well, you know what? It's funny too, because I bumped into someone that watches us, or someone that participates in the support groups, and she's a newer injury. She's been injured a year. So I saw her there, and she was, she always got a lot of questions. She's just getting into different equipment, but she had a notepad on her lap, and she was asking questions, and she was writing them down and you say, hey, well, check this out or whatever.
Yeah.
Should go look for it or whatever, but she was taking notes. And so she's at that point where, she still felt a little awkward there because it's her first year.
Yeah.
And she goes, she doesn't really, she didn't know if she belongs there or the able-bodied piece because, she's now just working on transferring into her car and then trying to do, obviously not spend all the money that's for all the availability of product out there. But so she's just kind of learning things like that. And I saw her notepad and there was all kinds of stuff written on there. So, and she speaks up at the support groups. But yeah, it was nice to see her there because because I know when I first went, it's amazing. Yeah. It's almost kind of like overwhelming too if you're
right. Well, and we hear it over and over again when we talk to guests that when they talk about their transition and what kind of care they got, what kind of occupational therapy that they got, and it goes from zero to some of the gold standard stuff, Rancho Los Amigos and getting support with Triumph and some of the others, but there's some people they've had 20, 30 minutes, say, with somebody came in to their room when they were in the hospital, and that was it, but there's so much to, especially everybody's a little different, but it kind of goes up the scale, depending, how severe your mobility issues are. When you're a quad, there's many things to deal with that, say, somebody like Mia Para doesn't deal with even.
Yeah.
But to the average person, we're both in wheelchairs, we're going down the street. They don't know all of that, It's the place to learn.
For Addie, was this your first LA one?
This was my first one ever, period.
So LA is the biggest. And I'm sure that's why you came out and also to be with the walk and roll. But what stood out to you? And let me ask you this first question. Have you ever been to another expo? Because they used to have it in Atlanta, or they've been there before.
No, I heard they have, but I never, honestly and truthfully, I have CP, born with CP, whatever, was a poster child when I was little, but then as an adult, I've been like, please don't, I'm me, I'm just me. We don't want to talk about that really, until I kind of found Doug again, and he said, hey, be on my show. And I was like, okay. And I mean, to me, I just figured out life. I just did it. I did Teach for America. I moved cross country by myself. I did it. And that was the spirit my parents gave me. But it wasn't like I ever got to Atlanta and said, let me find the disability community. Let me do this, that, and the other. As much as it touched me was getting driving lessons at Shepherd Center. And I mean, honestly, chit-chatting to whoever I saw on a chair or whatever, I'm out in my chair. But generally, I didn't interact in this way. And then finding Doug and getting, finally identifying and saying, wait, this is really important. I got this container for a reason. So it's cool. It's super cool. But at the same time, I feel just as much like a newbie because I'm like, oh my God, you could surf. You could do all these things. I've just always figured out a way to adapt the normal things to me, or if something precluded me, I let it preclude me. But now doing this, I'm like, okay, no, I'm going to do all the things all the time. So it's been really fun.
Yeah. So, then being that this was your first one, you're kind of like Robert 8 years ago. It wasn't oh my God, they have, like you said, surfing and all that. What stood out to you the most, or, that you were really taken aback about?
I mean, I made myself laugh because I was like, look at so many chairs in one place. Like the level of community, because I'm always the different one. I was the only kid at my elementary school that was mainstream but needed devices. I was the first person in Teach for America to have a visible disability. I've always been the one. So being in a room where I wasn't the one, I was like, this is insane. That was what it was. And the variety of stuff, just walking along, and also it's fun going with Doug too, and people that have heard of us or haven't heard of us, and just how as a female of a different generation, and then Doug, we can riff off each other but offer a mixed perspective. It was really cool to hear people say yes and want to be involved, and obviously to meet all of you that I've heard about over and over and over again, and I'm like, yay, real people.
Yeah, that was the fun part for me, just getting to introduce her to people that only heard her either on the show or been on the show with her, but never met her in person. So that was fun.
Super fun.
That was like me with Robert 8 years ago. I'm like,
Yeah.
here, follow me. If you really want to,
You want to meet
Believe it.
people.
I couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
was there one booth that like just went, whoa, I can't even imagine. I never could have imagined being that it was your first time, or was there a product that stood out?
I mean, for me, like I loved the Gamut certified thing because I never knew that was such a thing, which is, the thing that's now like disability certified for some sort of accessibility or things where they did the Runway of Dreams and they had like Adidas and Victoria's Secret and French Toast and all those brands. I had so much fun talking to them and just finding out like, oh, it does matter. But also like the girl that was there for like Victoria's Secret, she's like, oh, you have to use this one QR code and it'll send you to this space where you can find like the 10 things we have. I'm like, why isn't that on the main page? Like, how would I have found that had I not met you at a trade show? So yes, maybe you're Gamut certified, but can we get it out there in a more like noticeable way? So it's fun and it's cool and it's fun to feel like I've always felt kind of like an imposter, which sounds really weird, but I didn't feel like an imposter there. Like I'm talking to her and I'm talking about lived experience. And that was one of the first times where I didn't have the panic of like, I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm like, oh, I actually am. And I'm like 47 today. So I'm like, I can talk about this as it being my life experience. Typically, I don't want to speak up. I want to stay kind of on the wall and just let it ride and see what happens. But that was cool to get into meaningful conversations about that.
Mm-hmm.
Very good.
Very cool.
The food was way too expensive. I'll throw that out there.
Well, yeah. You always, I even said this, and so I didn't eat a lot this weekend, but I usually bring my own lunch. I know Robert brought his own lunch on Friday because I saw him pounding his sandwich down really quick as we went out to our car. But it's always like that. It's the expo. They're gonna charge you an arm and a leg.
I just wanted a beer somewhere after.
Oh my god! So that was a funny story though. There was, I told Robert, oh my god, on Saturday they had put out a bar that you can get a drink, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, I've never seen that before at any of the expos. You could always leave the hall and go somewhere and have a drink. So I'm seeing it and I'm like, okay, well, when we're done here at 5:00, I'm going over there to have a drink, and just to relax. Your mind is just racing from seeing everybody and talking, and you just want to chill. And we're done, and I'm like, come on, let's go, Robert. We get there and it's all locked. They had
5:00 meant 5:00. They're done.
Oh my goodness!
The next day, I talked to the guy. I go, hey, listen here, ass. Thanks a lot for shutting down early. He goes, oh yeah, we always do that. I'm like, yeah, but vendors want to wait until the end of the day. Like, he goes, yeah, but they try to close and get you out. And I'm like,
yeah, you're like, but we don't want to leave.
Yeah, but still, I'm like, I'm not gonna have alcohol.
No, on your breath while you're talking.
Yeah. Buy this product, why not?
Yeah, this will really help you when you can't figure out which way the door opens or shuts.
Yeah, but even after the show, we went outside on that patio area out there just to kind of just get some air, a little bit of sun,
and decompress. Yeah.
And they kind of cleared you out there. They let you stay there for a little bit, but then they started clearing you out.
Oh, boo. Doug and I were like, peace out, we're going to a restaurant, folks.
Well, I saw the text after. Did you guys end up going to Golden Road?
Yeah.
Yes, we did.
I figured it might be a little late, but I didn't know how long it was taking you guys to get out of there.
The thing too is in Long Beach, over at Shoreline Village, they have a bunch of restaurants there that's actually closer.
Yeah. And, but over there it is really crowded though.
Yeah, because
it's a tourist kind of thing, right?
Yeah, the show has been there before.
Yeah,
it's been there for they had it 2 years in a row there in the late 90s, and we went over to Yard House.
Yeah,
but just like in LA, when we were in LA, we would go to the Yard House as well. It is just crowded.
Yeah.
It's overpacked, and I wish I would have known you guys were going to Golden Road. I probably would have been.
Boo, next year. Okay, put it on your agenda. We'll do the same thing next year.
Plan better.
It was all because of me, because I told Doug I hadn't seen the ocean the whole time I'd been. So he was like, fine, I'll drive you by the ocean and I'll show you the pier we do push to pier and then we'll go eat. So Sorry, that was me.
No,
So how was the Golden Road that night? Was it?
Really good. It's
Yeah,
quiet.
I like that place. I really do like that
Yeah.
place.
it was quiet. Okay, good to know. The Chad who we worked with for Chair Life on the 3 days, Sunday, and I was giving him a ride to and from his hotel because he stayed by me. And Sunday morning we woke up and thank God it was nice and clear. And we took all the way from Huntington Beach to Long Beach, so we can see that whole view.
Amazing.
Like, you look, and he's telling his friend, take a picture of these palm trees, take a picture of the sun. I'm just like, really? And like,
because he's from San Antonio.
Okay, that's
blown
fine.
away.
No, that's fine. Even I was doing that to Doug when we were going there, because the people with the big like balloons, the parasail stuff were all out. I was like, not for me, because I mean I grew up in Cali, but for my friends who were like, what's the beach like? I wanted to be like, this is the perfect shot of what it's not always like, but it's cool to know.
What stood out for you, Doug? I mean, sorry, and I'm probably going into my role of Live to Roll.
That's okay. We'll roll with you. That's why there's all of us.
But I wanted to know what you like. I have something, but I want to hear from you first, Doug. What stood out as like a booth or a product?
Well, the one thing that overall that I liked is the different platforms that they had. That it seemed like they brought more sports back, adaptive sports that people could try. Because it seemed like in the last couple of years I didn't see much.
I think that's the growth of CAF, Challenge Athletes Foundation, and Foundation, and Kelly Brush. I think now that there's some funding, that it makes it more accessible for that kind of stuff. Like for those, this is not, everybody sees me right now of us four, but in the back is, a couple hand bikes for me. And, I wouldn't have had those if it wasn't for those kind of grants. And so, they are getting bigger. I wish, they can even have more. And like you said, like a whole row of just sports stuff.
Yeah. And the other thing is, when you mentioned, getting the hair out of your front tire wheels, there's so many things like that some breakout sessions where you can go to a little mini seminar that's a half hour long for different topics would really, I think,
that's something like we don't get to experience as much. Like you said, the movie was over there, but really, I do try to look and see what the workshops are. I don't get to make them, but that's one thing they do announce, and they have a loud announcer because they were telling you to get the heck out of there. But they need to announce, now is the Rollettes.
Yeah, exactly.
Now is like I was hearing screaming, and we went over there finally, and we saw the I think I forgot what the group was, but they're a group of dancers from the guy was from Born This Way, and it was so cool watching them all, and I knew one of the dancers because I volunteer for Special Olympics out here for they need help with speeches, and I help them with their speeches.
How cool is that?
Yeah, so I was like, oh my God, there's Stephanie, and so
like, I know her.
to watch them. But luckily, I just went over there. I thought it was the Rollettes, but it was them. They need to announce that during throughout the day. Like, if you want help with your funding of maybe sports, or you're really like one of them was
the earthquake preparedness. And
let's see, it was let's see, here's some of them, and I'll just, for those that weren't able to join us, like 11 a.m. was the ribbon cutting. Okay. 11:30 was all about service dogs.
Yeah.
That was the event. So they probably had the dog workshop was spin and save with Able account. And if anybody doesn't know what an Able account is,
that's what I was looking for that all day.
Okay. Yeah. So and then in the around 12:30 was adaptive fitness classes. And then a workshop on 7 steps to earthquake safety.
Yeah.
Now that's important out here. Yeah. Then they had, like you said, Addie, the Runway Dreams of Fashion Show. Yeah. And I only saw that briefly on Sunday. I didn't know that's what they were doing.
Yeah.
So they could have done, by announcing.
I think so.
Yes, I
think
didn't
they
really realize there were those.
They
were
did
those
wheelchair
workshops.
demo.
Yeah, really.
They did a wheelchair basketball demo. Meet singer and songwriter Marina Michelle, which I know her personally, so I didn't have to go meet her, but she's been on American Idol and all that. Funding the Life You Deserve was a workshop.
Yeah, see, that one would have been super cool.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I wish there was more notice. And also the way they kind of set them up for those of us that were all seated at a certain position, if you don't get there right in the front, you can't see squat.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I literally, when they had the girl from Wicked, like I was using my phone over my head to zoom in to see her. And I was like, people are not at a certain height to stand with each other and look.
Yeah.
So let's organize this a bit better.
Do people ask me about that when she was going on? I'm like, who? From Wicked. I go,
Yeah.
You're like, okay.
There what? I didn't see the movie, so I'm
Me
like,
neither.
there was people in chairs in Wicked. She goes,
Yes, because the main bulk behind part of the story is that the
You're gonna
Wicked
get
Witch
schooled
becomes
now, Bobby.
wicked.
I know.
The Wicked Witch becomes wicked because her sister is picked on for being disabled. And so that girl is the girl that plays the disabled sister. Which is really cool to turn out that it was an actress in a chair and not somebody they put in a chair and called
Right,
disabled.
right.
So I was like, that's actually cool.
And locally here, they were promoting the expo, and she was actually one of the draws that come meet. So
Oh, neat.
yeah.
Cool.
Oh, I see it right here. It was on Saturday at 12:45.
Yeah.
Q&A with Marissa
Well, see,
from
the thing is this is the first time I went where I was actually involved in a booth. Most of the time I go there just to hang out and say hi. I'm there really with nothing to do but just cruising the place. So this time I was working the booth, but then I'd want to go see a particular booth that I'd stay there and talk, and then I'd get back. So I really didn't have the chance that I really wanted to see actually what was there. But I think I agree with you, Addie, how they kind of had them to the side where the workshop, because where we were at behind us was one of the car dealers, one of the van accessible dealers. And then next to them were a couple little stages or booths like that where they had, I saw just workshop. And it didn't have anything like an agenda on posted or anything on what to see there during the day or whatever. So, I see that it's kind of like pushed to the corner or wherever they had other room, it's like they could do a little bit better organization, but it was available. So I just didn't know.
And I missed it. I only saw it 1 year, but they have where they announced Miss
Wheelchair.
California.
Yeah.
I was on the Saturday. They had another one that was really cool is accessible cruising. How to doing cruising. I think that would have been real valuable for a lot of people. And then wheelchair football.
Even if they had, I know they had that table on the side when you went in, but even if they had kind of like a greeter that like sat and said, here are some cool things to check out today if you don't really have a plan or something. I'd be that person because I can talk the paint off a wall, but
there are some people that when they sign up on the website, they'll probably look and write these down that they want to attend. But also you get like looking at something and then you're like, oh shoot,
that's exactly what happened to Doug and I. We'd be like, what time is it? Bobby, what was your favorite thing since you said you have something?
Oh, you know what? Mine was the cool little, it was like the gentleman from YouTube Mobility, John Box.
Oh, yeah.
His partners, they built where it's like not a motorcycle,
it's like a chariot. It's like a chariot.
Yeah.
So
the one that was all tubular.
You roll onto the platform, and it's like a small motorbike, and I was like, there you go. That's what we need.
I know those were so cool.
Yeah, and he just finished it. It was like
they were
the night before he was finishing it up.
I've seen those on social media a couple of times. Yeah. That's interesting.
They're it's not for everybody. I probably would myself if I had one of those, but
I always say that's why God didn't let me drive is because he knew I would have killed myself like 6 months after my license. So he's like, yeah, no, not for you.
Well, that's it. There's so many innovations within the same even category. there's so many different devices like that. You've heard of the Freedom Track, where it's got a little platform. You just roll your wheelchair up on it and strap it in, and away you go.
Yeah. I didn't. One year they were big, and then this year I think they had it.
Yeah, they came to the booth.
Yeah, did they have a booth?
They had a booth there because there's somebody that came there and was just testing it out, and I don't know who talked to it. It was Chad or whatever. But yeah, it was still around, but it's the same wheelchair, the big wheelchair, the Permobiles and things like that. Sunrise or wherever they are.
Oh, that's who makes that.
Yeah. That's independent. That's independent. And but yeah, I have to go along with Bobby. I think the U2 mobility booth because he really has a lot of those power assists, the front mount power assists. He has all kinds of. He really stepped into that. He came out, was one of the first of the vendors out there, because he's still family owned type business, not a conglomerate. Yeah. So he's got his wheelchair shop has a machine shop in the back. He'll make stuff, or if you need something for your chair, he'll adapt something for you. Yeah. No, that was one of the things that I kind of liked, because it was something new that you don't see all the time.
Yeah.
And one thing that's always disappoints me, the companies like, as I'm looking at the map here, Coloplast, and Freedom, they don't bring out their supply stuff for what's it called, for colostomy stuff. Their money maker is catheters, and I get that, and that's colostomy doesn't, but they don't bring that stuff, or a better diaper for somebody that has to use those kind of things.
Yeah. Why? Let's all talk about the things that are hard to find and like a little bit less talked about, because catheters are easy, but all the other things, we all know that stuff comes along with it, whether we want to say it out loud or not. I'm with you.
Exactly. And I mean, like, I want to know what's new for us people like myself who have to use the colostomy bag.
Exactly.
And what products that I do find, it's like a treasure hunt on the internet. So another thing that was disappointing, and only because I know him, Mark Wellman, who was the first person with a disability to climb El Capitan. And his climbing wall that he brings every year had to be turned backwards, so you only saw the back side of it, not the front side of it, and that was sort of a disappointment.
Yeah, you had to go around the backside to see the people climbing.
Yeah, you had to go. Like be pretty much in the back going, oh, that's what that was.
That's what that is.
Yeah, honestly, like we walked by it and I didn't even know what it was. I was just like, well, that's cool, but we didn't stop. I mean, boo. Anyway.
So and that was a little bit of a disappointment.
And that was because of the height, right? They had to configure it that way because of the height of the building.
Right.
Didn't allow it to be turned the proper way.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, the probably one of the ones that stood out to me, just because I would love to do that, but price kind of puts it out of my reach. But the off-road with the rubber tracks, those things.
Yeah.
I'm going to work on those people. I want to test it when they come to New Orleans. I'm going to be like, can I be your dummy girl? I'll do it.
There you go.
You probably have to line up. That's the only problem.
No, we'll see. I'll let you know. I'll work my magic.
Yeah, do it.
Stay tuned.
There was one product, and I think I was just bugging the crap out of them, because we were at this booth. Yeah, our booth was right across from, dang it, I'm looking it up. Where were we? 900. That's why I'm not seeing it. We were at a booth next to Vibrant Health Systems. So it's this machine that you stand on or put your feet on, and it's supposed to vibrate. And
it's supposed to eliminate all pain.
Was it the thing with the handles? I did that thing.
No.
You stood on it.
This thing you stood on too.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, but this is the one that was just the thing on the ground. Yeah,
right. And then promotes all this circulation, and it's just like, what promotes circulation? Exercising and eating. But on Sunday the guy goes, you want to try it? I'm like, no. I go, no. And he knew I knew the gimmick. It was just like, they're selling it for 800. That was there's certain companies that they think they can hit that market. And
but they've been to every expo I think I've been to. They've always had that. And, people are in the chair sitting and they put their feet on it. Okay. And one guy didn't do it because last time he goes, I did it. He goes, it sent my body into spasms because
no, that happened. That happened. Later, I got a leg cramp from that one that we tried, Doug. My right leg had the worst cramp.
And the one that you're talking about, all it made me want to do was pee. So
that's not in the brochure.
Right, no. After the few minutes of it for me, I was like, I'm gonna fly off the back of this because you're like the muscle weirdness just feels funny. It's like you can't stay up, and then later I had the worst Charlie horse I've had.
And they had them for sale, and I watched like a hawk. They only sold 2 that whole weekend. Now maybe they gave out a lot of information, but
yeah.
So I was just like, and one of these kids I see once a year, I helped him out when he was in the hospital, and he was like, "Oh, I'm gonna get one of those," and his mom was there, and I just like,
"No, you're not."
I go, "You don't need that." She goes,
"You're like, please
why?"
don't.
And I go, "It's a gimmick," and she goes, "See?" He's like, "Oh, you think it's a gimmick?" I go, "I know it's a gimmick."
Yeah, there's a few gimmick-like things there.
Yeah,
for sure.
vibrating plate. Yeah, you get better exercises if you had the. Oh God, Donna. No, what was that thing? The thing you put between your thigh master.
Right.
Right.
Oh gosh.
We were across from them, and I just kept rolling my eyes at them.
You're like, why? Like the guy that wanted to sell us the under eye cream, Doug. I'm sure he'd love me.
Yeah.
What was it?
This guy wanted.
It's some kind of cream that you put under your eye, and it.
Yeah. They're always
the kind of thing you see at the mall.
No, totally. And he was like, "Are you going to buy it?" And he was hitting on me the day before, right? So I said, "Well, if you really want to be my boyfriend, you'll give it to me."
There you go.
Shut him right up.
Exactly. Good for you.
All right. We probably should wind down. I try to keep the show to an hour, but yeah.
No, I know. And so I was just going to mention this for
I was going to say final thoughts here.
And where is it? Shoot. Okay, hold on. For your final thoughts, though, you're listening to this, and I'm sure you're across the United States here listening. That was the one in LA. It is the bigger one, but for folks' sakes, if you're in the New York metro area, it's May 1st through the 3rd. Houston has one July 31st through the 2nd. That's a big one. I've been to it. Orlando is October 9th through the 11th. You got Chicago, June 12th through the 14th. Phoenix, September 11th through the 13th. And Dallas, December 4th through the 6th. So you got a bunch of different ones. And for those over for International Accessibility Conference, I don't know what that one is, but it looks like they got a couple different ones there. I guess they say it's international for the bigger cities like LA, New York, and Chicago. But go to abilitiesexpo.com. You can look it up in your area, because I know people do travel for rural areas outside of the big cities. So look it up, see if there's one there. It's great to see all the products and what's out there that can work easy for you.
Yes.
Yeah, it's free to register. You might pay for some parking, but other than that, free for the entry.
Bring your own food.
Yes, yes, good idea. I think just my final thoughts are, we of course we're talking about some things that we'd like them to improve, things that we maybe didn't like as much, but overall, I've been probably 10 years or so. The first one I went to was in Anaheim, so I don't know if that helps you kind of figure out.
Yep, I remember
what the timeline was, but so. But I think we would all highly recommend it for all the things we talked about as far as community, the innovation in products, learning, especially if you're a newbie, get with your community. Again, we say that all the time on our show. I'm sure you guys do too on yours. We highly recommend it.
And some I'm just seeing here because I have it up, but you go to Abilities. It's not Abilities Expo, but abilities.com. down below, they have even a web page, part of their web page is looking for support. So you're not alone. Whatever questions you have, we have the resources to help. So even if you can't get to these, you can find and look at these different companies that do attend them, and they highlight them on that website. So you can see some of this stuff. If you're looking into adaptive sports, assistive technology, parents and caregivers, which is huge, and community heroes and current events. So look that up. They can you can find some good stuff if you cannot make it to any of these.
And
we have a website with a lot of resources on a resource page, and we've gathered a lot of information at this year's expo. So we're going to be adding a lot of that to our resource page at walkandrolllive.com.
And you can always email the Walk and Roll Live email. And I know myself, I'll speak for myself at the moment. If you need some support, some mentorship, somebody to laugh or cry about it, I'm here. I'll listen, and I'm going to volunteer Doug to do the same. But but I'm happy to do it. I think that's one of the biggest things that I took away from the expo, and just meeting all the rest of you in person. And I've always been sort of a friendly people person, but I see the importance of being a people person in the community in which I live even more as a different person. And I'm happy to do that. If you can't get to an expo, let's chat about how your life feels and how to make it better.
Yeah.
All right, Robert. Any final thoughts?
I think it's just it's a must. If you have any type of disability or anything, it's a must to go there at least once to check it out. But like I said, I kind of got hooked on it. I look forward to it all the time.
Yeah.
And it's good because if you're one of those people that don't like to get out because of just the environments and all that, this is the one that you have to get out and go see. You'll see it's not anything that you might have preconceived, but it is a community collection of all of us, different disabilities and everything like that. And there's something out there for everybody. And I'd say it's just networking, socializing, and seeing what's out there and what the technology is all about.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you guys for taking some time out of your day, Robert and Bobby.
Thanks for having us. Thank you.
And you can check them out on Live to Roll. Just go to livetoroll.com, and you can see all their shows. They've got some, I think, some older ladies that do a show, and they've got some young ladies that do a show.
Well, careful with that.
I know. I was like, which words do I choose here?
Rolling with the golden oldies.
Oldies, there we go.
Have fun.
We call that not. They're older. They just had some more life experience than our younger generation.
Seasoned.
Yeah.
All right,
Awesome.
guys.
Thanks, guys, for hanging out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Each week on Walk and Roll Live, we share honest and open stories of people living with a disability.
I was excited to show my family just how much better of a skier I got to be. So we went up on December 30th. Then the next morning, I woke up 10 out of 10 pain. Chest, back, head. I slowly lost all feeling from my feet all the way up to my chest, that I was paralyzed, essentially. I didn't understand what was happening. All I knew is that something scary was going on. And
Join us weekly for another powerful episode. Walk and Roll Live, wherever you get your podcasts. Life Limitless. Subscribe now.
From the Ugyar Professional Training Studios, you're listening to Walk and Roll Live, Disability Stories.
Walk and Roll Live, coming off the Abilities Expo in Long Beach. Did you have a good time?
No, it was a really good time. I'm glad to see everybody. And obviously it was my first year, so I didn't have as much to compare it to as y'all, but you know, everybody kept telling me, well, the other one, it was like this or whatever. So it was cool. Definitely worth being tired today. Definitely worth going out and getting to see the cousin and hang out with people and have you introduce me to so many people who, you know, had either been our guests or you talk about a lot because of all the community work you do. So it was quite fun to shake hands and hug and, you know, have people come up and hug me. like our friend Lisa, who said, I feel like I know you because I listen to you every week. That was very sweet and made me
As she's mauling you and hugging you. Can I do this? I feel like I know you.
Yeah. But really
That's
nice
awesome
to have it feel like a bit of home, even when it was a new place for me, which can be hard for those of us that can be anxious. Even if we hide it really well, it felt like home.
Yeah. I think we all know when it comes to traveling, there's a bit of anxiousness that comes along with that, you know.
For sure.
Well, maybe not for somebody like Corey Lee who does it all the time, but maybe.
Right.
You know, we got an upcoming episode at some point with him, so we can ask him that question.
We'll get there.
Right? Yeah. And so many resources too. We gathered so much stuff, so we'll be adding to the page some good stuff. So we'll and then we've got another guest that's not too far off that she has some great resources too. So we'll
we're very lucky.
Start adding those.
I have quite the Ziploc of business cards and things to enter, and everybody was just so kind. That was the thing. Like, no matter who it was, there was nobody who was like, ooh. I mean, obviously, if they're paying for a booth, they want to meet people, but that doesn't ensure that you're so friendly. And I just felt like it was really, really a great place to be and network, and definitely worth how I feel today.
Good. All right, we're gonna make this short and sweet so that you can get some rest and get back to your normal and all. Get
back to my birthday too, man.
It's your birthday. Happy birthday! You know, I probably shouldn't say this because it didn't happen, so I'm just kind of building up myself. But I was trying to figure out some way of getting a cake and getting it there and kind of celebrating your birthday at the show. But you were with me all the time. I couldn't.
I know, right? How does that work?
And I didn't know where to. Hey, I'm going to run out and get a cake. I'll be back.
I'll be right back. I'm not leaving you, for real. I will come to pick you up. But why are you doing that? No, it was fine. It was a great celebration. We had a good lunch. Yeah. We went to, where do we go? Golden Road, yeah. Yeah, Golden Road Brewery.
That's the place. I showed her the place that we go to generally after every push to the pier that we do in Long Beach. So
quite fun. It was enough of a celebration just to hang out with you.
Good. All right. We'll do it again next week. So make sure you're here. Thanks for listening. I'm your host, Doug Vincent. Addie Rich is here. She encourages you to like, subscribe, share, and do all the things. From the Adyar Professional Training Studio, this has been Walk and Roll Live. Disability Stories, Life Limitless.
Walk and Roll Live.